Welcome back to WC Bricks for another episode of Building Gotham City in Lego, and the Lego room is in a complete state at the moment. Last week I got the city all laid out how it would have been in the old Lego setup. However, before my Mandalore episode last week when I did this structure here, I wanted to put my workstation back in, put a desk in that I can work on, do my computer do my video editing and put the pieces out and things like that. So I needed to move all the boxes from that corner somewhere. The only place in the house where there's not boxes at the moment is in here. So I decided move all the buildings Gotham up to one end of the table and stick the boxes on the end of the table there. Due to the fact the layout's going to be different, there's no harm in me doing so. So at least now I've got somewhere comfortable where I can do my work on the buildings as we go along. Last week I showed a potential new layout for Gotham City once the garage has been converted into the new Lego room. And a couple of people commented on things that should be added or would be good to get added to the build. And I agree with a lot of the comments on there. And one thing that would be really good to have is the Batcave and Wayne Manor. And as you can see, I have changed the layout once again. The garage, once I put the insulation in there and done the amendments I want to do to the inside of the garage, is not going to be as big as I was originally hoping. And I also had mismeasured it the first time as well. And the garage length is only 7 meters as opposed to 8. The width is still 5 meters. I got that part right. So I'm not going to be able to have the actual main table here as large as I would like. Instead of being 6 meters in length, it's only going to be 5 meters. So losing that whole meter is a quite big difference to the actual potential layout. It's about 4 base plates I'm going to be losing on the end here. But what I have decided to do is actually make the table in the shape of an H. So this bottom section here is going to be up against the wall, and there's going to be a small table that then joins to the larger one. And I thought it'd be quite cool to have a Batcave and Wayne Manor on the side of the build here. As I walk along here, you'll be able to see into the Batcave, which I think would be pretty good. And on the opposite end, I thought it'd be good to have Arkham Island and also the prison as well. I think it'd be quite nice to have them out of the city, as I just feel it's going to make the city look that little bit better. And also what I could potentially do further down the line is I could have a removable section just here, which I just cover in base plates with the trans blue tiles, with a water effect across there. So that is something I could possibly do. Now, one thing I am going to be doing is putting the Gcpd here. So as you enter Gotham City over the bridge here, the first building you come across will be the Gcpd. So that's the building I'm going to be concentrating on first of all. Now the table area is a lot bigger than the original Gotham City, I can just make a slight amendment to this building and have it more to how I want to have it. And here we are back at the Gcpd, and it's going to be version 3 of the Gcpd that we're going to be working on today. The first one was the flat iron. This was the second version, and this one was heavily influenced by the Gotham TV show. Tried to get the look and feel of what you saw in that show into here. However, due to the fact that I was building this on 1.5 of the 32 by 32 base plates, it did restrict how much detail I could put on the inside of it. Now with the new layout that I'm going to be doing in Gotham City following the move, I am going to have a much bigger area to build the Gcpd, and it won't look out of place being a bigger building. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a new mills plate built up, get that all ready, and then transfer as much of this building onto that new base plate as possible and extend it and make it look that much more grander. So without further ado, let's get the base plates out and let's get started. And here is the new mills plate. It's 4 of the 32 by 32s all joined together, and I've just placed the building on top of the base plate just to see how it's looking and how much bigger I want to make it on here. Now I want to have a car park out the back where there'll be probably about 3 or 4 police cars parked, and I want to also do it so there is the back entrance as I was originally going to have. I'm thinking about coming over this way by about another 6 to 8 studs, and this way by about 6 studs as well. I'm hoping by doing that it's still going to have that nice compact look, but give me all of the space I need inside to add the details I want to do so. It would be nice to have a section where the car park is over cover, as you see in the Gotham TV series, but what I want to do is make sure that there are things that can go across the top of it without it looking out of place. So whether or not the train line goes over there, I'm not sure. But we'll start off by mapping out the floor plan on the base plate here, and then once I'm happy with that, I'll start dismantling the walls on here and transferring them over to the new building. And there's the new foundation for the GCPD, and it is only 2 studs deeper this way, but it's 8 studs longer on that side, so it is going to enable me to get a lot more details inside here. And although it is only 2 studs, I think that is going to make the world of difference when it comes to doing the inside of it. I did have this, so it was about 8 studs going further back, but it just didn't look right from this end, and I felt like I was losing the compact look that I want with the buildings within Gotham City. So I was happy with this size, and now what we can do is just build the walls up using the same technique as on the previous build. And here is the revised front of the GCPD. I did put the old windows in, however they didn't look quite right due to the gaps. There was an odd number of studs compared with before where it was all symmetrical, so I decided to mix up, try a completely different technique and see how it comes out. So I'm just going to add the tiles back onto the snot bricks, and then fingers crossed it's all going to come out looking okay. And that's the front of the building all tiled off, and really happy with how this is coming along. On the inside, I've made it a lot more like the TV show, the holding cell on the back here, as opposed to the wall where it was previously, which is it's all scaled down, I suppose, to how you see it in the TV show, but yeah, happy with how it's coming on. What we're going to do now is carry on tiling the floor off, put a few more details in there that I can for the time being, and we carry on building those walls up. I'm really pleased with the changes that I've made to the front of this build. I feel it looks a lot grander than it was previously. On the end here, very similar to how it was before, just a couple of studs wider, as I mentioned earlier on in the video. On the back here, I've put this ledge, and the idea of having this sticking out of the wall is I want to have an overhanging section. So I just want something I can attach this to further down the line. So whether I put jumper plates on here or just build straight onto this, I'm not sure. That's the doorway that you would go through to get into the back entrance of the GCPD. So the idea is that the police cars will park out the back here, and then they will take the prisoners through that section just there. Now, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to be having this in the city. I know this building is going to be one of the first buildings you come across once you go over the bridge, and I want it to look as grand as possible so it has a maximum impact when you enter in the city. Now, with this section, overhang section here, obviously you've got the car parking area below it, but I want it so the train line goes across the top if I can manage to fit that into the build. So I'm just going to hold fire on doing any more on that section. But what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to carry on building these walls up and see how much more of it we can get done. And that's the next section of brickwork all completed on there. Still need to find out a couple of the window pieces. And on the side here, I put the GCPD in the light bluish grey as opposed to the dark blue. Just felt it had a better feel to it on the aesthetic of the build. And around the windows here, I've put the 1x1 cylinders as opposed to bricks, which again, I just feel gives it a little bit of a grander look on there. Now, I haven't got enough plates to do the next floor on here, so what I'm going to do temporarily is just build the walls straight onto this section just here, onto these plates, and that's just going to keep the look of it going all the way up. And that's the walls of the top section all added to the building here. They will be removable eventually, but at the moment I need to get a lot of parts to enable me to do so. But I wanted to build all the walls up on this building so I can get a better idea as I go around the city as to how I want everything to look. Now on this grey section here, there will be a statue coming out of there. And I've seen this image online. I think it looks really good. So I would like to try and create something similar to that. Now with the GCPD sign there, contemplating changing the back of that to dark bluish grey, or possibly putting tiles behind the tiles so that it's a smoother finish, you can't see the studs, because at the moment where it's the same colour, I feel like the GCPD is getting lost at certain angles, and I do want to keep it in that colour if I can. Now on the inside of the build, I'm really happy with how this is coming along as well. It's quite hard to see all the details in this, it's quite dark at the moment. However, I have got all of the floor all sorted out. There's a couple of desks in there as well, and on the far end there is a desk as well for a policeman's stand, so I just need to put a phone and details like that on there. And as you can see, there's a door frame around that door at the back there as well. And at the bottom here, I changed out the light bluish grey masonry bricks for these dark bluish grey bricks, and again I just need to put cheese wedges along the top or tile it off. And the reason I changed the colour for that is the pavement area that's going to be going around here is going to be light bluish grey, and I felt like it just needed something to break it up. Now, I'm not convinced on this colour. I think it's a bit of a clash here. It just doesn't look quite right, so I may very well change it up to black. I think that would look quite good as well. Now on this end here, I've put some windows on the very end, and at the bottom again we've got the letters GCPD. And then when we come around to the back here, all the arches are in place now. Just need to get more window frames, and again the arches on there. Sorry, the semicircle window parts. And as mentioned earlier as well, we've got the ledge just there ready for doing the overhang bit. However, I do think that's going to be potentially too low. I might end up having to put some bricks on and then bring the support structure up on here. Now, the idea is that this is going to be against the water on these two sides. The cars will come into the car park from this section here, and this will be pedestrianised along the front here. So what I'll probably do is build another building in this space just here. Going backwise, I could do probably 32 studs and it wouldn't look out of place. It'll work out really well. But yes, third time we've built the GCPD for this Gotham City, and I'm sure I've wasted a lot of time in the past building it, but I'm really happy with this latest version. I think it does look that little bit grander. I do want to put police station or Gotham Police or something like that along the top here, using some form of brick writing. And again, doing the details along the top there, I need to do all of that as well. And on the corner here, I put some circular plates, and I would like to put some more detail on that part as well, just to try and break it up a little bit more. But yeah, all in all, happy with how this is coming along. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you've already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building Gotham or building Mandalore, please share the channel with them. Now, I'm hoping to make a start on the garage very soon, so this coming week I'll probably do a lot of preparation work out there. So how much building we're able to get done, not just sure just yet, but as I said, hit the notification bell and you'll know when the videos have dropped. Anyway, thanks for popping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.